everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to all of the new members. My name is Katja, I'm CatColouring, and this video is an inspirational video for all of you who wonder perhaps what should I color here during the autumn months, and more specifically also for Halloween. So in this video I will show you 130 autumn and Halloween drawings from 25 coloring books to give you some inspiration for those dark autumn days ahead of us. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice cup of coffee or a mug of tea and enjoy the video. Let's begin with the Eriy books, and I have actually 7 Eriy books that I want to show you drawings from that you could use for Halloween. The first 2 here in the Magical Country book, her newest one, these 2 pages with the Clark's Photo Studio. Now, Clark's Photo Studio is a ghost photographer, Mr. Clark. He's a ghost and he has a special camera so he can take photos of ghosts. And it's open from sunset to sunrise, so during the night, because ghosts sleep in the day in the graves. And you can see here we have spider webs and we have some pumpkins here, and then the photos of the ghosts, of course, here in the windows. And then on the opposite page we have Mary Abbott, the main character of Magical Country, and she has been, well, she's surrounded by her ghost friends and they're taking a photo. And she also has a ghost cat, Madame Sissy, in her lap. So these could be really cool to color for Halloween. Then we have the Broom Specialty Store, and here you can buy broomsticks of all sorts, and then you can go and fly with them. So these 2 pages, Halloweenish in theme or more autumn-like perhaps here also. These 2 pages is the ghost house. You can see this is a really good Halloween scene. We have the graves on the hill towards the ghost house. We have a ghost here. She's going up to the ghost house. We have trees, and it's placed on a sort of cliff. And we have the full moon. And inside the ghost house, you can see this meal for ghosts. But they, of course, they cannot eat, so they just pretend to eat, and then they like watch the living people eat these meals. So you can do all sorts of Halloweenish like things. We also have pumpkins down here. So really nice Halloween pages in Magical Country book. Next book is the World Heritage book by Eriy. And this is where she goes to all of these, or draws all of these World Heritage sites. And I found one that you could, say, this is really autumn-like. So we have, this is from Canada, from Quebec, and this is the historical district. And you can see we have acorns and leaves, and perhaps these are, I don't know, rowan berries or some sorts. And we have a squirrel. So you can paint this in really autumn-like colors. So a really nice autumn page from World Heritage. World Fairytales. I have 2 pages here. I think we will take this one first. But this is from, Snow White, the Evil Queen. And I don't know if you could say it's Halloweenish, but we do have some skulls, and we have all of these magic potions, and we know that the queen is an evil queen, and deals with, all sorts of poisons and potions, and we have the apples here. So you could use this as some sort of Halloween ghoulish page. You can also see the snake here. And we have the mirror on the wall. So I think that this could also be a good one for Halloween. And then an autumn page. This is the fairy tale about Thumbelina, the little girl. And then she, here is the place in the fairy tale where she saves this, I think it was a swallow, and it had broken its wing, and she takes care of it, and she nurtures it all through the autumn and the winter until the spring, where it leaves again and then takes her with him. And you can see we have mushrooms here and salt. So it's really in the late summer or early autumn she finds this swallow, because it was going to fly south for the winter. So I think that this could also be a really nice autumn page to do. But that was all from this book. The World Legends book by Eriy. Here we find quite a few Halloween pages. First, here from York, in England where you can go on a ghost walk through the city, and we have ghosts following this gentleman going for a walk in the town. On the opposite page, we can clearly see it's a true Halloween page. We have the carved out pumpkin, we have cute ghosts, and she is dressed up for Halloween. We have crosses here and all sorts of nice fun things. This page is also really Halloweenish. We can see a flying witch on a broomstick towards the full moon. We have spiders, trick-or-treaters, carved out turnips, I think it is, and cakes and a haunted house with bats and a ghost on a graveyard and so on. And on this page we can also see, of course, this is called Walpurgisnacht, which is a night we have in the Scandinavian and German countries, or German-speaking countries, and it is the night of the witches. So the witches gather, and you can see here a witch flying on a broomstick through the town. Really nice scene. So this could be also Halloweenish if you wanted to, you know, it's night and dark and so on. Actually, I think that Walpurgisnacht it is in spring, but never mind that. And here we have a little school for magical practice where this witch is practicing her magic. This could also be a sort of Halloweenish page. Further in the book we have the House of Baba Yaga. This is a Russian tale or fairy tale or legend about a witch called Baba Yaga, and she lives in a house, and it's moves around because it has chicken legs under it, so she can move from place to place. And you can see this is really spooky and sort of ghoulish. And then we have the werewolf here with the full moon. So this is also kind of really Halloweenish, spookish. So lots and lots of pages in the World Legends book. Then we of course have the Romantic Country books. And here we do find and you can say, well, a lot of pages you can turn into autumn pages, you know, just by coloring and using an autumn color palette. But I do find that this particular page here with the campsite in the forest could be really autumn-like. So not a Halloween page, but an autumn page, you know, with the trees and the background. You can color them in different sort of autumn-like colors. We have a fire going on, and you can see it's not in spring because they do have hats on their heads and boots on. And we have apples and mushrooms, so it must be an autumn scene, this page. This, of course, continues on the next page with the specimen box of the forest with acorns and mushrooms and different sorts of leaves. Then we have this wishing well in the forest. We do have some leaves on the trees, but not many. And you can see we have lanterns. It could be night. This could be turned into a really nice, also autumn-like page. Not this one. This is clearly summer or spring. Also, this one, you can see it's a card and it's framed in, but, you know, we don't have a lot of leaves on this tree hut house, or tree house. So this could also be colored as an autumn-like scene with trees in the background and so on, if you wanted to. Here also a very autumn-like scene. I know we do have some flowers, but you can choose to use some more perhaps autumn-like colors up the mountain, or, you know, have some of these pine trees a little bit withered so they are not all fresh and green. So you could try to mix the colors, and so it's not just, you know, green, blue and gray. And one final page is of course the Happy Halloween Trick or Treat page, which is really a Halloween page. That was Romantic Country 1. The second tale in Romantic Country, I found 3 drawings that could be used for some autumn or Halloween. The mushroom page, a clear autumn page, I think. Then, if we move past all of these fairy pages, and the Easter egg page. Then we have this double page spread, which really reminds me of that street in Harry Potter, where they, I can't remember what it's called in English, but where they buy all of their broomsticks and cauldrons and stuff. And you can see we have the broomsticks here. We have witches and wizard clothes. We do also have some fruits and then the pumpkins. We have the newspaper here, Cocoa Times, but you can buy your cauldrons here. And books, of course, magic potions, and your owls. So this is, well, it's almost taken right out of the Harry Potter movies, this double page spread. So this could be really, really nice to color, both as an autumn and a Halloween page. And then if we move past all of these fairy pages, then of course we do have a Halloween page with trick-and-treaters and carved out pumpkins and a little ghost. And finally, Romantic Country, the third tale, where I have also found, well, quite a few pages that you could use for autumn and or Halloween. Like this page with all of these wonderful, it's sort of a autumn harvest page with pumpkins and carrots and apples, and we still have some flowers, so this could be an early autumn page. The pumpkin page, again, a sort of harvest page, but later in the autumn, I think we do have some chili peppers up here, and pears, jam, and then all of these different sorts of pumpkins. Wonderful page to color. And then this page I really like a lot, because we do have the vine up the wall here, and you could also color this in beautiful autumn colors. So not a Halloween page, but a wonderful autumn page, or early autumn page, where you still have flowers, but you also have this beautiful vine, and some of the vines turn red during autumn, so this could be really, really beautiful to color with an autumn palette. And then we, of course, have to move into the forest where the witch lives, and we have the witch house for sale. You could also use it as an early autumn page with autumn color, an autumn color palette, and turn some of these flowers into chrysanthemums or whatever. And then the flying witch and the full moon behind her. And then, of course, this clearly a Halloween page with carved out pumpkins, a trick or treat, and we have a couple of trick-or-treaters with pumpkin heads here, and looks like they're going through some sort of a spooky place. We even have bats up here in the trees and the full moon up there. So a beautiful page. Also, these two pages, you can see I've already marked this page because I have found a new friend I want to body color with. She's called Kate's Coloring Pages. I found her on Instagram. And the page with all of these witches' hats we're going to color here in October. Madame Liliana, it's called. And the opposite page with magic potions could also be colored, you know, for Halloween, because we do have some poisonous potions and not just love potions here. So also a couple of pages, I would say, they could be really Halloweenish. And, well, that was all of the autumn-like and Halloween pages I have from my Eriy books. Now let's move on to Klara Markova. Fairy Celebrations by Klara Markova. And of course, these books are, you know, divided into spring, summer, and then some water, mermaid pages, and autumn and winter pages. All of them sort of follow this pattern, except for, I think that Magical Delights is more spring and summer and not really autumn or winter pages, mostly. But anyway, I have chosen some of the pages I think that I might like to color if I have the time during October and perhaps November. This is a clear Halloween page from Fairy Celebrations with the pumpkins, and we have the bat reading, we have the full moon and a cat on a broomstick and the wolf howling at the moon. So a really cute Halloween page, and you can see the house is like Baba Yaga's with chicken legs, but in a cute version and not a spooky version. Then the page with the witch, and you can see her hat is really something. We have mushrooms and a house and a large feather, and then she just walks around. So this is, well, could it be a Halloween page? I'm not that sure, but I think it's a cute and also Halloweeny, sort of like a witchy fairy page. I like it. An autumn page, perhaps, most of all, but I like it. And of course, these two pages, not a double page spread because each have their own, but you can see here a couple of cat, one of them with a witch's hat, and they're roasting apples over a fire. A really nice autumn-like page with lots of mushrooms. And we have some insects, and on the opposite page, more Halloweenish, we do have a pumpkin, we have a bat, and we have a witch and her hat, and we have a mouse, and then lots of mushrooms and candy, and we also have a little bat here and a ghost. So this is more of a Halloweenish sort of scene. So 4 pages from Fairy Celebrations. 1 page from Fairy Miracles that I liked, and I thought, well, this one could be colored for Halloween. The page with the flying bats. And they are too cute. And then this wonderful pumpkin house. And of course some mushrooms. I really, really like this page. I wonder why I have... Oh, this was for another coloring. So that was not. But this, beautiful for Halloween. Fairy Touch of Magic. Couple of pages in here. The one with the bat sewing is just too cute. So cute. Perhaps not a Halloween page, but more like an autumn page. But still so cute. And then this Halloween page. And this is truly a Halloween page. We have the sort of Baba Yaga-like house here with chicken legs. We have pumpkins, and we have a cat flying on a broomstick, and another cat here. We have bats and stars, and this is just a really cute, not that spooky Halloween scene, but a cute one. And also this double page spread. This is truly Halloween-like, because you can clearly see here we have pumpkins, we have a graveyard over here. Here it says Klara. And I'm not quite sure if it's a witch or it's supposed to be a statue. I think perhaps it's supposed to be a statue. A raven, more tombstones, and then we have a spooky skeleton mummy, sort of like in an open casket, and a haunted house and a full moon. Is actually sleeping, ghosts and bats, and this just screams Halloween, these 2 pages. I love this. So I would really like to prioritize coloring this double page, because this is just absolutely wonderful. Little secrets from my fairy house. I have found 1 page that I would like. It seems to be a recurrent theme with me and bats, but I do think that bats are both autumn-like and really Halloweenish. We have a witch, her hat is up here, she's upside down like her bats, and we have the broomstick here, and the cauldron with either a magic potion or perhaps a mushroom soup for dinner. Who knows, but really, really cute. I think that cute is really the word for the drawings of Klara Markova. Orchard Full of Fairies, for those of you who have invested in this book. I do have a couple of pages. This one I think is really nice and autumn-like. Not that Halloweenish at all, but nice and autumn-like. A bat singing and playing for a girl or a fairy. I don't see wings, so I think it's just a girl. Trying to sleep, and another bat hanging here. So a nice sort of autumn-like scene. Here we do have ghosts, and I think a witch with a witch's hat, so, and a cat. So I think that this is more Halloween-like. This page is just really nice autumn-like with the flying leaves outside, and then we have the flying feathers from the pillow fight indoors with this elf and the cat. And the last page, not perhaps that Halloweenish, but we do have a witch, and she is making some sort of potion. And then we have a couple of bugs living in an apple. I do think it's really cute. So this one could also be colored sort of Halloweenish like, perhaps also in the colors, because we do have a spider web up here. And I don't know if that is a spider or where the spider is, but really nice. And we do have also some autumn leaves down here, or you could color them in autumn colors. So that was the Klara Markova pages. Rita Berman's Mein Spaziergang durch die Jahreszeiten, or I think it's the English version called Hidden Seasons. So this is a compilation of her 4 seasonal books. And my first Rita Berman book. I have found a couple of autumn pages. This double page spread really screams autumn with the flying kites and leaves and a pond, and then we have the fields and some houses. The mushroom, the flying leaves, the 2 pumpkin pages, also very autumn-like and could be perhaps colored in Halloween-like colors like orange and violet. Then this beautiful double page spread with some, well, I don't know if it's a double page spread. It really looks like with the leaves falling off, and you can see it's really windy. We have some houses and then the barren fields. An umbrella, the rain, the rubber boots, very typical autumn. And then the owl up here in the tree with all of the leaves falling off. And these 2 pages, this one with the acorns and leaves, and this one with the fall wreath. Really beautiful pages. So some really nice autumn pages from Rita Berman's Hidden Seasons, or Mein Spaziergang durch die Jahreszeiten. Millie Marotta's Wunder des Waldes, or Woodland Wild. And, you know, there are a lot of wonderful drawings in here. And, of course, you can just choose the color palette for them. But this badger page, I really like that badger page. And I think that, you know, badgers is sort of an autumnal animal. It sounds really weird when you say it. But I do think that, you know, foxes, you can see them during the summer. But the badgers are really autumn-like creatures, in my mind at least. So that page could be very good to color. Then this page, I have not really an idea what sort of plants they are, but you can use some really nice autumn-like colors to color this page. Well, the foxes more with the flowers here. These look like bluebells, so I think that's more of a spring page. And here, these really look like, is it called maple leaves? I could really picture this page for me in autumn colors. Really beautiful leaves. This double page spread with the deer, the male and the female. So this could be a spring scene with a lot of light, bright colors. It could also be just a summer scene, but you could also just choose to color it more autumn-like. And I think this would be really beautiful with autumn-like colors, with the brown deer and then orange, red and yellow tones in all of the leaves. So could be a really beautiful autumn-like scene. This double page spread with the, I think it's chipmunks, could be also very nice to color in autumn-like colors. Gathering the supplies for the winter. The mushroom page here, the last of these pages, so beautiful with all of the different mushrooms, and you can color them whatever colors you like, both autumn colors or others if you prefer another color palette. But You can also find really wonderful autumn pages in Millie Marotta's books. Maria Trolle, Nightfall, one of her oldest coloring books, and one of my favorites alongside Twilight Garden. I like her elder books. And you do find a lot of really nice coloring pages here. Nightfall is a bit special because it's not... some of her coloring books are divided also sort of seasonal-like, where you find at the end of the book some winter pages and then autumn and then a lot of summer and spring. But Nightfall is a bit different because it has summer pages right until the end. But I did manage to find this page with the squirrel. We have some fern leaves, also some, well, bluebells, but we'd also have some mushrooms and stuff. So you could try to color this in a more autumn-like color palette. Then this page with the girl and the owl, and we have acorns and mushrooms. So this is sort of a late summer, early autumn page also. Perhaps I should have made this in September, but I was swamped up in work. And this page with cute little ghosts, and these I'm not quite sure. They remind me of some of the, from one of the trees, they have some sort of fruit like that whirls down. And it could be like this, I don't know, but these ghosts are really cute. And we also have mushrooms down here, some fern leaves, and well, a mouse down here. So you could color this in autumn colors. And that is pretty much it. It's not like we have a lot of autumn-like pages in this, nor in Twilight Garden. But then we come to Flora, and I have managed to find a few more pages in this book. Like the sort of acorn wreath here. And on the opposite page we have an old woman with small elves, a squirrel, and a lot of oak leaves and acorns. So really nice autumn color palette you could do with these two pages. Then the page next to the one I made last year, we have a nice woodland scene with a rabbit, a pond, and we have a deer drinking some of the water. We have some pine trees and a lot of fern leaves and mossy stones. So this could also be, you know, a really autumn-like color palette you could use for this page. And the final page, of course, this wonderful, wonderful pumpkin page with the squirrel and cute ghosts here. And a couple of flowers also. And a very happy pumpkin carved out. So a few nice pages from Flora. And then Botanicum. I looked at the other coloring books I do have from Maria Trolle, and I have them all, and I couldn't really find anything in Universe except for these pages I have found here, and nor in Moon Valley and Luna. I don't think there are that many pages I would really like to sort of color autumn-like or Halloween-like. But here we have a lovely mushroom house page. We also have acorns and falling leaves, so this could also be a wonderful early autumn page you could do. And then the page I did promise you last year, I think it was in a color and chat video, and it was voted for, but another page got more votes, and I did that. But this page with the bat and the carved out pumpkins and ghosts and candles, lit candles here, a really nice Halloween page. The opposite page with the, I think it's rats because their tails are quite long. They are gathering provisions for the winter, and they're gathering rose hips. So this could also be colored, you know, with brown colors, perhaps a darkened sky, and then these really nice orangey red rose hips. This could be a really nice autumn palette you could do with that page. And that was it from the Maria Trolle books. Ellie Marks. I showed you this earlier on. I think it was in my summer art haul. Anyway, this is the Coloring Heaven edition of her Nature Patterns, 48 nature-inspired designs by Ellie Marks. And this is divided into the seasons with spring and summer, autumn and winter. So the autumn pages I have chosen could be this one. This is the fall compass. I really like it because it's filled with leaves and berries. And then we have the compass. Of course, also the pumpkin or the pumpkin wreaths here. Really nice and very classic autumn. The raccoon page. The raccoon taking a nap on a pillow surrounded by some of the flowers and leaves we see in autumn. And also the mushrooms. This is sort of a mandala style, filled with lovely mushrooms you can color. And then finally this sort of wreath or mandala with acorns and mushrooms. Really also very autumn-like. And the good thing about Ellie Marks' drawings is that they are just line art, and you can do whatever you want with these pages. I think that they are very easy to color and work with her design style. I really like Ellie Marks' style, and I can really recommend her. So that was it from my Ellie Marks coloring this autumn. Emelie Lidehäll Öberg, Fairytales and Folklore. I do think that a lot of the pages in this book are, well, there are so many flowers on most of the pages, so they are really spring and summer-like, but I do have a few pages picked out that I thought they could be more autumn-like. Like this page. You can see this is one of these wood spirits and is filled with mushrooms and some berries. So I think that this could be a very nice autumn color palette you could use for that page. Of course, this drawing, we have mushrooms, we have leaves, we have a little Nisse, and you can see he's wearing mittens, so it's cold. And the mouse here is wearing a scarf and a sweater. So this is, of course, an autumn or winter-like page. But we do have a lot of leaves and mushrooms, so I think it's more autumn than winter in the color palette I want to use for this page. The opposite page, well, you could debate whether or not this should be an autumn page, but I mean, we do have the king and the queen under the mountain, if you could say that. Two trolls, we have a lot of leaves, and you can color them in autumn-like colors. We have a what looks like a wooden church here, and then the troll. So you could color them in a with mossy stones, and then color it all in an autumn palette. Instead of, you know, coloring it all like summer and with bright colors. So use some more orange, brown and olive green colors for this drawing. And here we have a lot of animals sleeping and a, well, princess or queen. I think it's a princess. She has a small crown, and you can see the apples in a basket. It perhaps could be Snow White, but you can see they are all wearing scarves. So this, you know, you could interpret it like it's autumn and it's cold, and she's also wearing a cloak. So you could use an autumn-like color palette for this page also. So it's not just, you know, spring and summer. Another page. This page, also probably with, it looks like a magician. We have some potion bottles, but we do have a lot of mushrooms and some leaves surrounding this magician. So you could also use an autumn color palette for this page if you wanted to. Here, another of these woodland spirits. Mushrooms, leaves, a night scene with all of the stars. Wonderful, wonderful night autumn color palette. And this is Red Riding Hood, and I have seen a lot of colorings on this page, and I do think that, well, we have some leaves here, but what really gives it away, like you could use this for an autumn color palette, is we have all of these mossy stones, and then we have all of these mushrooms and leaves down here at the floor and the bottom of the forest. So yeah, it is Red Riding Hood. Well, it certainly looks like her from the fairy tale, but why not make this to an autumn-like coloring page? It would also get perhaps a little bit more spooky, because it is spooky when she's in the forest and the wolf is following her, and then he eats her grandmother when he reaches the hut and so on. So you could color this, well, perhaps almost Halloweenish style, like, and do it. Perhaps you could even draw a wolf hiding behind some of these trees to make it really, really spooky and scary. And this page is perhaps the most Halloweenic sort of page in the whole book. We have a skull, we have some candlelight, we have a pumpkin and a frog, and or a toad perhaps, and some mushrooms. So you could also make this a really spooky, Halloweenish sort of coloring page. And then finally, this page with the moths surrounding the lantern and the little Nisse standing there. He has just lit the light in the lantern. So a very nice, dark, autumn-like scene. You could color this, and I have seen some very beautiful and dark colorings of this scene, so you could turn it into an autumn-like scene, you know, such a nice dark November drawing. And that was the drawings I had found in Fairytales and Folklore. Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford. I have found a couple of pages in here that you could use with an autumn palette. I have seen the page colored in many different versions, usually with very bright or dark colors, but why not use an autumn palette to color this wonderful page with the castle in the background and all of these trees and the foliage in the foreground. Then just have to find it. The page with all of the pumpkins and stuff. You could also do that, but I am more interested in this page. Here you can see we have some vines with thorns and stuff, so you could, why not use an autumn color palette to color the leaves, you know, dark red, perhaps with a little bit of dark green, but reddish, and then create a very beautiful autumn-like scenery. We have stars, a dark background perhaps, and then the little lit house with light coming out of the windows. The owl page, you can color the branch and all of these leaves in some really nice autumn colors. You can see we have lanterns. The light could shine down on the owl, and then the background could be a bit darker. Of course, we also have the pumpkin page. I'm going to be coloring this in October, and this is a coloring challenge with Deanne and Kathleen, my American friends, and I will not tell you what the challenge is. You can watch it in my completed pages video for the autumn months, and that will be out in the beginning of December, I think. And then, of course, we have the cauldron page. Could be a really nice witchy cauldron, so this could be a nice Halloween page. And the opposite page with all of the magic potions, you could also color this for Halloween. And that was Magical Worlds. Then we have Secret Garden, and I have managed to find some pages, most of them here in the beginning of the book. The owl page with, we have the chestnuts and acorns, and the opposite page, of course, with all of these leaves. Really nice for autumn. And the page here with, again, a couple of owls hiding, and then we have some berries, you know, some sort of late summer, early autumn berries. Perhaps it's, I think it's perhaps rowan berries, and certainly acorns. So this could also be colored for autumn. And then we have this wonderful double page spread, you can see, with pumpkins, apples, oh, I can't remember, are these called gooseberries. I really can't remember, but you know, berries. And over here we have, I think it's blackberries, and we have grapes also. So this is also, you know, a page with late summer or early autumn page, a sort of harvest page, double page spread. And finally, it's time for my Hanna Karlzon books. And I have here Tales from the Forest Kingdom, Seasons, Halloween, and of course Tales from the Witch's Cottage. So let's begin with these one by one. And I will begin with Forest Kingdom. This is one of my favorite Hanna Karlzon books. And if you know the book, of course you know why. This page just screams autumn. We have wonderful acorns, leaves, berries, mushrooms, and a bug. The page behind it, we have these wonderful leaves and a couple of gemstones. I have seen some really nice colorings hold in yellow and orange tones. I'm not quite sure what I would like to do with this page because it will have to fit in with the opposite page, of course. Then the page with the children riding on the bears, Mama Bear and the little bear, really cute one. The Troll family, also very cute, and this could be like a cave with mossy stones, mushrooms, surrounded by leaves. Could do a lot of different things. And of course the helpful troll, the troll helping the elf children by holding an umbrella made of leaves so they don't get wet from all of that rain. Wonderful. And my very favorite page, the Starcatcher page, here at the back of the book, where we have the full moon, all of these wonderful pine trees, and then a child and a rabbit, I think, catching stars falling down from the sky. I really love that page. So a lot of nice autumn pages from Forest Kingdom. Seasons, I have planned quite a few pages, but I will just highlight 2 pages for autumn. The one with the mushrooms in sort of a frame, and of course the witch page with the pumpkins and the cat, a true Halloween page. I will also be doing other pages here, but perhaps not in an autumn-like theme, all of them. Tales from the Witch's Cottage, another one of my favorite Hanna Karlzon books, simply because there are so many wonderful pages. But a lot of them, you know, like this one, they're more spring and summer-like because of all of the flowers. So if you want to look for some more autumn and Halloween-like pages, it could be this page with the witch holding the broomstick and the cats and the raven on her shoulder. It could be the other page with the mushrooms and the spirits. It could also be the double page spread with the potion shells. All of these wonderful, nice potions standing on the shelves. We have some spider webs and we have flaming lights, keys and spirits coming out of that bottle. The witch making a potion, also a wonderful Halloween-like page. The witch on her broomstick trying to fly. Don't know why I had highlighted that. I think this is more of a summer page. You could perhaps turn it into an autumn page. Well, there's so many pages in this book. Also, not this page. But this one with the sort of fire dragons coming out of the oven and the cat lying here, I think this is also a sort of Halloween-like page. Certainly not this page. I think I have highlighted too many for my summer coloring and I didn't finish it. The page with the pumpkins. I have been staring at this page for 2 years. So I think now is finally the time to begin coloring. I have seen some very wonderful versions of this one on Pinterest. And the spell book, also a Halloween-like page. You can see the fire dragon coming out of the potion bottle with all of the smoke. And then it says spells. Wonderful. The witch portrait here. And I think that's about it. And then I discovered I have a whip I have not finished from this summer. So at some point I will have to do this. You can see it's, I think it's Neocolor 2s I've been trying to use for the background, but it's certainly not finished. And of course, in the end, Halloween by Hanna Karlzon. I could show you the entire book, but I do have a flip through of it up on my channel. So I will just show you some of the pages I think I would like to, well, begin with first. I really like this picture, witch and a cat and pumpkins. This is a real autumn and Halloween page. The children dressing out as pumpkins. Or perhaps they are just scarecrow pumpkins, or scarecrows with pumpkin heads. Not quite sure. The pumpkin house, I really like this page. One of my absolute favorites of the book. And, okay, I really like this one. I think this is sort of inspired by, you know, Johanna Basford has so many pages with these sort of, you couldn't call them vignette pages, where you have all of these motifs. And Hanna Karlzon has it in her Christmas coloring book, God Jul, and now also in the Halloween coloring book. So here you can just color pumpkins to your heart's content. And I love the frog shop open. All of these tiny pumpkins and the frog or toad, I'm not quite sure. I just love that shop. Potions and lights and stuff. Really, really wonderful. The haunted house with the ghost and the bats surrounding it and the full moon behind it. Also one of my favorite pages in the book. And well, also this one. I like the girl walking through the forest, followed by spirits or ghosts or whatever they are. And then it's filled with mushrooms. And we have a skull down here. So here you can really play with dark and ominous colors and perhaps highlight the girl or something. And of course the double page spread with the flying witch on the broomstick. And the bats on the night sky. And then this sort of witch portrait with the cats and the spirits and flowers. Also absolutely wonderful. Could also have highlighted many, many other pages, but you know, the thing about a Halloween book is that you don't have to color it all for this Halloween. You can have it for many years and color some up to Halloween for many, many years to come. That was the 25 coloring books and the 130 pages I have chosen for autumn and Halloween coloring pages. Of course, I will not even make 1/10 of it this autumn, but it's really nice to have some pages picked out for the future, and also perhaps to inspire all of you with what coloring pages you can, you know, color in an autumn-like color palette and choose for Halloween. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you will give the video a thumbs up, a like. It helps my channel. Also, if you really liked it, consider hyping my video, because then it will reach more people and more people will be inspired by all of these coloring pages for autumn and Halloween. upcoming videos, more reviews. I have also promised one of my subscribers that I would color a dragon page with the Pablo pencils. It's on Amazon paper. That is also coming, and I am thinking about a color and chat. It has been quite a while since we've had a color and chat. And in that color and chat, I think that I will perhaps do one of these autumn or Halloween pages. So until I see you in the next video, have a lovely day, take care of yourself, and happy coloring. Bye!